Shaiva samupasate Shivayati Brahmeti Vedantino Bauddha Buddhayati Pramana Padava Karteti Mayayika Arham Nityatha Jaina Shasanarata Karmeti Nemamsaka Soyamvo Vidadhotu Vanchita Palam Trailokyanato Harihi Soyamvo Vidadhotu Vanchita Palam Trailokyanato Harihi Shuddho Buddho Vimukta Shruti Shikhara Giram Mukhyatat Paryabhumi Yasmad Jahatam Samastam Jagadidam Hridam Vyapya Sarvam Sthito Yaha Yasyam Sham Shavatare Suranaravanajai Rakshidam Sarvamedade Tam Bhumanam Mukundam Hridigatamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Tam Bhumanam Mukundam Hridigatamalam Krishnameva Prapadye Madhya Hridaya Kashe Sadanandamayo Guru Udetu Satatam Samyag Swatmananda Prabodhakaha Harihi 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 Om Tatsat. We shall recite jointly 3 times Omkara. The chanting of Omkara has a twofold influence. One is spiritual, applicable to the mind, intelligence and ego, the inner personality of man. The other is on the physical body, the external counterpart of the whole personality. This body, biological body, consists of only matter, a fact that most of you do not know. Even if you know, you never reflect upon it. Our senses and the body are completely made out of matter. And as matter, it cannot generate any experience or knowledge. I don't think it is disputable. So in the whole biological body, Omkara has a great influence. It is capable of invigorating the brain and also the heart, as a result of which the health and longevity of the heart increases, and it spiritualizes the brain. Simply start humming. You will find the effect inside the head and brain. I am not able to chant it as well as I was doing earlier. My voice system is on the decline. But I would like you all to compensate for whatever degree I lack. Interlock your fingers and put them on your lap. Sit comfortably erect. Close your eyes. Open the mouth and heart and join me. But the more important part is that every one of you should think that this joint recitation should spread upon the whole earth and shower its benedictions on all the creatures upon the earth. This kind of an expansional thinking is possible only for the human, not for any of the creatures, other creatures upon this wide earth. So we will start. I think it should be louder. Put the whole of your being into it. Needless to say that I am happy, I wanted to also, to come to Jamshedpur. The first visit we made was to Malaysia. All the three of us had to go there because the Malaysia center acquired by the society, SIRD there, had to be inaugurated. So for the purpose of inauguration, all the three of us went together. It is not practical for us, for all the three of us to leave the ashram. The ashram has to be looked after. There is a lot of management and administration work there. Some things have to be signed. So nevertheless, we made the visit. Then after that, we went to Delhi. Nutun Swamiji went to America. The next visit due was to Jamshedpur. So I was very particular that we should visit Jamshedpur after a gap of 3 years. Last time I came here and on the way I fell in Delhi while exiting from the bathroom. So the whole treatment was done in Jamshedpur. I did not choose to remain in Delhi. So after getting treated, though the trouble was not cured, it was all right, lingering. We went away from here. This time I have come here with somewhat sickness right from the ashram. Though we passed through Delhi, the sickness is coming from the ashram itself. Because this is our own center and any kind of an eventuality for the body will be looked after well here without any trouble, I confidently came over here. So it is a very happy reunion, you can say. Jamshedpur, I am visiting Jamshedpur consistently. I was rather 56 years. This is the 57th year with a gap of about 3 years. Imagine to be able to visit a place unfailingly almost every year in the month of February. One must have the health to do it, will to do it, a love for it, and the people here also will have to be there to call me, invite me, and I think this is the 3rd or 4th generation which is apparently hosting me this time here. It's not easy at all. So far as Delhi center is concerned, I have been visiting there for the past 47 years, 10 years less. Now, you cannot say, and I cannot also say, I have a very robust, healthy body. The body has been sick right from childhood. I used to have a fever every month. In the primary class, one day my father had to take me on his shoulder and keep in my class for about half an hour to mark the attendance. Otherwise the name would have been scored. So I was a sick child in a way. My sickness continued and my body and myself, we have been coexisting with the sickness. In spite of it, I have done at least 2% job in my life. So I confidently came here thinking that whatever be the condition of the body, we must go to Jamshedpur. It will be a reactivation for them also. Now the subject for discussion in this background, I thought would be intensifying your spiritual growth. Intensifying your spiritual growth. You have entered into the field of spirituality long back, not newly. Many people are initiated into Brahma Vidya by me. Others may not have been initiated, but they are also studious seekers of truth. Everybody is exposed to the subject quite well. You also know what is the sadhana to be performed. And maybe all of you are doing your sadhana to a degree in a manner best for you, known to you well. In such a background, what is it that I can deliver you as a message? I thought, your sadhana has to be intensified. The spiritual growth has to be strengthened. It is possible that you become sluggish. I don't say you become disinterested, but certainly sluggishness, lack of sufficient attention, consistency, etc., possibly are there. So, how to intensify it? When I thought about it, I felt that everybody takes to spirituality as a course of life, either supplementary or principal course itself, either from inspiration or from exposure. Inspiration is something that one gets from oneself. It may be inborn. It can also be imbibed. If it is inborn, right from the beginning you will have a spiritual affinity. Otherwise you may imbibe it. Imbibe it in many ways. I had a neighbor, Swami by name. I don't know whether he is living now in my Purvashrama. He was a little elder to me, but he was a free boy and we used to have good open-hearted discussions. One day I went to his house and we climbed upon a mango tree. And sitting on the branch of the tree we started conversing. So I told him, Narayan Swami, I am not able to find interest in anything in life. I don't have any interest. I do everything, mix with the other boys, we play, we go to the school, we do our prayers also very religiously, chanting Vishnu Sahasranama, chanting many other hymns, sitting on the mandapam of the Devi temple. But the fact remains that I am not able to find any interest in anything. You know what he told me? He had some astrological leaning and knowledge also. He said, calling me by my name, he said, this is what is called dispassion. Dispassion? Vairagya? Maybe I heard the word properly for the first time. And he said, do you know, people who have vairagya will get liberation. That I have vairagya and people of vairagya are sure to get liberation. These were the two ideas planted by our conversation. This is what I call inspiration inborn. Why did I not have any interest at all and any interest in anything at all? What was the reason? I could not find. I was doing everything. I was a good student, reading well. Everything is okay. But why this lack of interest? It's not something generated by me or acquired by me. It is a kind of an inspiration, a note, characteristic note of your mind and intelligence. So that should have given me some insight and also a little guidance. And whenever I used to chant religious prayers, particularly composed by Shankaracharya, wherever elements of dispassion are there, somehow my mind used to be absorbed, though I did not understand the meaning of all that I said. It may be from a conversation with your friend, maybe listening to a talk. These are days when from the internet you can get many things. And open the internet, start looking into it. We have a website. Our website was there, but it was not properly arranged. So we employed two special teams for it, a technical team and a designing team. It cost a lot of money, 35.5 lakhs, to organize our website. Even now, the report that we get is website is very good. Now, I have spoken on so many subjects. All these subjects are here and there. So everyone must be able to navigate into that subject. So these lectures have to be heard and some clippings have to be made from it, and everyone will be able to find out that this subject is there, that subject is there, like that. That process is still going on. It cannot be done by professional people. It can be done only by people who are in this line. So many of our devotees and disciples are working in different parts of the world. Now that website, so many people are writing to me saying that I followed your lectures, I have been regular thereafter to listen to your YouTube talk, and whatever they wanted to say. So exposure can be in any manner. You read Ramayana, or you read Srimad Bhagavata, or you listen to a set of talks. There is one doctor, no, not doctor, Natarajan, a structural engineer. He is 80 years old now. He was telling me, one day something happened in his office and he had to come back fast. On the way, some Swami was giving a talk. Thinking that it's a Swami who is talking for the first time, he went there and started listening. The first sentence led him to listen to the second, and the first and second together dragged him to the third, and standing in an uncomfortable manner, he listened to the whole of his talk. He said, that was my exposure. Suppose you are not prepared to be exposed, then nothing can be had. So either by inspiration or by exposure. Exposure is to what? Exposure must be to the wise people, whom you call sadhu, mahatma, mahapurushas, etc. They may be sannyasins, mostly they will be sannyasins. There may be others also non-sannyasins. Listen to their talk. They will always be stressing on this point. What is meant by Sat? We call Satsanga. What is this Satsanga? Sangha with the Sat. The word Sat means the real. The real. The real will never change at all. It will remain uniformly the same in the past, in the present, and also in the future. You look at the whole world. Is there anything non-changing in the whole creation? I was asking, I don't know whether any one of you will be able to give me an answer. What is the circumference and weight of the earth? And by our living and interacting with the earth, are we not depleting it variously? I was told that Jakarta of Indonesia is going to be underwater by 30 feet before long. Why? They are extracting water, underground water. They don't have water. So this extraction is so much and you cannot fill it back by any other material. Sometimes you can push water into other holes. But when you extract water, what else can you give there? So the earth will have to keep its balance, so it will go down. When something is taken away, naturally it will settle itself. So it is going to sink to the tune of 30 feet, I was told. So I am asking a question. Can you tell me how much the earth has reduced in its mass and weight by our living? One question. Second question is, it is rotating. There must be a minimal friction in such rotation. By the friction, has it worn out? If so, to which extent? These were the two questions I am interested in. Why I said this? Everything is changing. There will come a day when the sun will become cold. None of us will be available at that time. We may not be living. But you will find all the fluid which is giving us heat and light will have been exhausted and it will become cold. So everything in this world is changeful, including our body, our mind, our intelligence, and also our ego. So if everything is changeful, our body also, with a changeful body, whatever we acquire which are changefuls, tell me, will changefulness increase or decrease? Huh? Why are you keeping quiet? हमारा शरीर परिवर्तनशील है और सारी दुनिया भी उसी प्रकार है। एक परिवर्तनात्मक शरीर को लेकर हम जो कुछ कमाते हैं वो भी परिवर्तनात्मक है। तब परिवर्तन बढ़ेगा ना, कम कभी नहीं होगा। तो इसी प्रकार रहना तो ठीक नहीं है। यहाँ कोई अपरिवर्तित जिसमें परिवर्तन कभी नहीं हो सकता, ऐसा कोई कुछ है, एक खोज है। मनुष्य की बुद्धि से ही वो निकलेगी, हाथी की बुद्धि से नहीं निकलेगी, वेल की बुद्धि से भी नहीं निकलेगी, मनुष्य बुद्धि से ही निकलेगी। और मनुष्य बुद्धि किसके लिए है? समझने के लिए, जानने के लिए, भली भांति विचार करके, अपग्रथन करके, अच्छी तरह समग्र रूप में सब कुछ को समझना, यही है बुद्धि का दौत्य, बुद्धि का धर्म, बुद्धि का स्वभाव। इस प्रकार की महान बुद्धि को हमारे सिर के भीतर रखकर हम क्या करते हैं? कुछ नहीं जानते हैं अपने प्रति। आई एम आस्किंग यू ए क्वेश्चन, डू यू नो सफिशिएंटली अबाउट योर ओन पर्सनैलिटी? I don't think anybody can raise his hand saying, I know what I am. Your personality is a composite. In the composite personality, the body is the external part. It is a biological aggregate. In spite of it, understand that the body is full of matter and energy. Suppose you see an object. Light rays reflected by the object come and touch the cornea. What the eye does is, it sends electrical pulses to the brain. Electrical pulses to the brain center. And the brain center is interpreting the experience and knowledge. Mr. Eye doesn't do anything. The eye is matter. It is animated and activated by the mind within every time. Otherwise, the body is dead matter. Understand it very well. Do you know it all of you? The second question. If the body is full of matter, we are doing a number of activities. Many things we do with the body, I need not explain. How is it the body is animated and activated? By what? What is the other factor? So we have a body, and we have a body different presence. There is an inner presence in us which is different from the body. And that inner presence is revealing itself, displaying itself as mind when it does mental function called mentation. There is another function called intellection. A third function called assertion. Mind's function is mentation, intellect's function is intellection, and ego's function is assertion. These three are three distinct functions displayed by the inner presence. The inner presence is the same. That inner presence is different from the body. Body is matter. The other is superior to matter, superior to energy. So it is a supra-material and a supra-energial presence. Do you know about it? But every time you say, I am, मैं हूँ, अरे हूँ वाली उपस्थिति क्या है? बोलो ना। लगातार तुम बोलते रहते हो, मैं हूँ, मेरा, अपना। ये हूँ वाली क्या है? अपना बोले के लिए अपना शब्द लेकर हमारा जीवन चलता है। फिर कौन है? हम क्या हूँ? कौन हूँ? कोई नहीं सोचते। ये क्या बात है? यहाँ सब कुछ मेरा, मेरी, मेरे है। मेरा शरीर, मेरा मन, मेरी बुद्धि, मेरी ईगो, मेरा मकान, मेरी गाड़ी, मेरे पिताजी, मेरी माताजी, मेरा पुत्र, मेरी पुत्री, सब कुछ मेरी मेरी है। जो मेरी हो कभी मैं नहीं हो सकता। तब मैं कौन है? ये जानने के बिना रहना मनुष्य का धर्म है क्या? मानव जीवन में हम सबसे ऊंचा किसको समझते हैं? समझते हैं ज्ञान को। सर्वं कर्माखिलम पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते। सभी एक्टिविटी, कार्रवाई जितना है सब कुछ ज्ञान में समाप्त होता है, श्री कृष्ण परमात्मा बोलते हैं। So without knowing, how do you propose to live? Every day we are feeding the body, looking after the body. I feel that we are spending about 2 to 2.5 hours in looking after the body, feeding 3, 4 or 5 times, taking bath, shaving, decorating, putting on dress, etc. Parallelly, how much time do you spend to nourish your mind and intelligence? We are using the mind, we are using the intelligence, but do you nourish it? Can anybody stand up and say, I am nourishing my mind? With what will you nourish? Food cannot nourish it, drink cannot nourish it. No material thing can nourish the mind. Mind can be nourished only by mental products. It can be nourished by good and noble thoughts, great and lofty emotions. It can be ennobled by very, very elevating emotions. Primary emotions are love, sympathy and sacrifice. Love for people, not for your family alone. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam is our proverb. The entire Vasudha, Dharti, Bhumi, Mera Parivar hai. This is our ideal. Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. Now, are you able to think like this? It is because your mind is not nourished. Similarly, Buddhi. Buddhi can be nourished only by Tattva Vichara, introspection. It's a word every one of you perhaps knows. Tattva Vichar, विचार करना. यदि हमारे गृह में एक बच्चे का जन्म होता है, वो मूर्ख है, विचार करने में समर्थ नहीं है, उसी प्रकार के बच्चों को लेकर हम क्या करेंगे? I don't think all of you think. Whenever a lady is going to be pregnant or is pregnant, what she should think is, let the child have a good mind, a good intelligence and a good ego. The mother can do nothing for the child. She eats only for her body. Her food directly goes into the alimentary canal and is converted into blood, and the main mainstream is joins. She does nothing for the child. If she has to do something, she has to sit and think. Whatever fetus is growing in my womb, may it have good health, may there be all limbs perfect, and let the child have a good mind, a noble mind, a very beautiful and perceptive intelligence. It must also have a very flexible and sublimating ego. These are positive thoughts which the mother, the pregnant woman, should practice as an austerity, as a contribution to the growth and welfare of the fetus. कौन करता है? कोई नहीं करता है. फिर सभी लिखे पढ़े लोग हैं. क्या लिखा है? क्या पढ़ा है? अपने बच्चे के जन्म के प्रति कुछ नहीं जानता है. आने वाले पीढ़ियों के लिए आप लोग क्या देंगे? थोड़ी संपत्ति देने से सब कुछ होगा क्या? उस संपत्ति का श्रेष्ठ धार्मिक रूप में खर्च करने के लिए भली एक बुद्धि तो चाहिए, एक मन भी चाहिए. आने वाले पीढ़ियों में अच्छी बुद्धि और अच्छा मन बनाने के लिए आप लोग 1 मिनट भी प्रार्थना करते हैं क्या? थोड़ा बोलिए ना मुझे. आपके टेबल में एक कुछ नहीं. इसीलिए हमारे समान कोई एक आदमी आकर कुछ बोलता है. किताब में भी है, हमारे शास्त्रों में है. So when I speak of exposure, understand, exposure can be only to our Shastras, scriptural texts, like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Upanishads and like. Or it must be exposure to the wise words of people. That is why it is called Satsanga. You are living in your house, you only have Asatsanga. अपने अपने गृहों में सत्संग कभी नहीं होता, झगड़ा होता है. I have a very good seeker in Delhi, a woman. So she used to come. For many days she came, alone. One day I asked her, why you are alone coming? You told me that you have married, love marriage, a Bengali she has married, woman is a Keralite. So were you married, loving each other? Swamiji, it was those days. Now I and my husband, we totally differ. He has no spiritual interest at all. Why are you getting married? It is to share your interests. Remain together. If wife is interested in spirituality, let the husband also go and take interest. Then they are more together. Their bond is better. बुद्धि भी नहीं. किससे हमारी बॉन्ड बड़ी होगी, गहरी होगी, वो भी नहीं जानता है. वो तो मूर्ख तो है. So many people, when I understand a couple come, the husband doesn't like the wife. So I will always tell him, I appreciate your wife, she is good and she is this, she is that. If it is the other way, I say, your husband, he's a nice man. I spoke to him, I like him. So they will change their opinion. सत्संग कहाँ है? सत्य के प्रति जहाँ चर्चा होती है, आपको विज्ञापन देने के लिए, that is called the satsang. So the exposure is either to the Shastras or to the words of the wise people. Our Shastras are living words of their authors. Whenever I read Bhagavad Gita, I don't read it as a book written 5,059 years ago. Bhagavad Gita was written 5,059 years ago by Vyasadeva. I am not reading it as a book written by Vyasadeva, historic book. No. I read it as a dialogue which Krishna is giving to Arjuna. And Krishna is standing by my side. It is his living words. This is the feeling I have. You must also have that kind of an approach. All the Shastras are written or spoken by some authors. Authors, their body has fallen, but their words continue because of their greatness. So whenever you read Shastras, your idea must be, I am actually just like I listen to my Gurudev if you have one. This is also a Guru who was there, who has shed his body, but who continues to be in spirit. That kind of an approach you must have. By reading Shastras and listening to the wise people, you will certainly get exposed. And that exposure is very good. Now, I wanted to tell you something that happened in my life. I went to my Gurudev seeking Diksha, initiation. I went to him, got Diksha. I had a sitting with him for 3 days in the morning. On the 3rd day after the Diksha sitting, I was coming away. So I told him, Baba, please do not ask me to read anything. I will not read. I will do this sadhana earnestly and well. Stick to it. This is a matter to be experienced, not to be read, thought about and known. So don't tell me. So he smiled and said, okay. But added, when the time comes for you to read, the book you have to read will be on your table, he said. I started intensely doing my sadhana. Every day 2.5 hours I used to spend in absorptional sitting. On holidays, I will spend 4 hours. Like that, I cannot exactly say how many years passed. It may be about 1.5 years or so. At that time, I found Mundaka Upanishad on my table. This book, a small book, Mundaka Upanishad. Mundaka. That word I did not like, Mundaka. It's not a good word. Do you like bald-headed people? Mundana means completely shaving off. Nobody likes to do it. Nowadays people in America have started doing it. Do you know why? Hair is falling. In any way hair is falling, so let me have a full shave. Nobody likes Mundana. We are all called Mundis. When Shankaracharya went for an argument with Bandara Mishra, the first word he said was, Kuto Mundi. Can you understand? Kutaha means from where? Mundi, O sannyasin. And he gave a reply, Agalan Mundi. He was defeated. He said, my mundana is up to the neck. See, what is the question and what is the answer? Are you able to appreciate? Huh? You are not able to appreciate. Re mundi tum kahan se aa rahe ho? Kutaha. Kutaha means from where? He mentioned Agalan Mundi. I have shaven only up to the neck. Bandara Mishra was defeated by the first question and answer. And the defeat continued. Bandara Mishra having been defeated, became a sannyasi. And his wife also, very intelligent woman, followed them. So, Mundaka Upanishad. I was a lover of Sanskrit. In fact, I loved only two subjects during my school days even, English and Sanskrit. Other subjects were not of any interest to me, though I was studying them, doing well also. Such a lover of Sanskrit I was. I have read and learned so many Sanskrit verses also. I was a verse lover, even now I am. I found that it was a Sanskrit book. When I left my village and went over to Calcutta, I wrapped up my Sanskrit interest. Now I am going to a place where English alone will be useful. So my sole focus was to learn English. I could not speak because we are not taught in an English medium. Even in the college, Sanskrit also will be written in Malayalam. So, when I went there, I was tongue-tied. You know what I did? I went to the park and somehow I picked up friendship with a Bengali boy, and how we started talking, what all subjects we talk, I don't. So, this is Sanskrit translated and commented upon. I started reading. I had said goodbye to Sanskrit when I left my village home. Evaluation here, revelation here, exhortation also here. Everything is in this book. I will say this is the best Upanishad out of the 10 or 140. Swami Vivekananda's biography, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's biography, all these things I started reading one after the other. Most of the books I have read are from Ramakrishna Mission. And whatever they produce will be very authoritative, there will be no mistake, and there will not be a biased interpretation on any subject whatsoever. So the books I read. That exposure was completely different. I was given to meditation and meditative absorption. That was going on. On this side, this exposure to our Shastras, scriptural compositions, both of them acted like two wings of a bird. And I started rising and rising. And before long, I cannot say exactly now when, within 1 or 2 years, I left everything and became a sannyasi. only because of my love for the knowledge. You see, so many students are very good students. They learn very well. What should they do if they love knowledge? They must become teachers. But all of them are robbed by the corporate world. Our education system should change. Teachers should be paid more so that good students will take up this profession. The corporate world calls them for 3 times, 4 times salary. What is this? Which country can become great without education? And in education, the primary 4 classes, they count most. And the teachers who teach the primary classes are not sufficiently educated. The psychology of the students is very, very important. We must be able to detect and decipher their psychology, and we must be able to bring them up emotionally also. So this knowledge is so good, so great, so useful. I never heard it anywhere in my life. But here in the book I found, what is this? This is a book on life, told by the father to the son, and by the son to his son, and that son taught it to his son. It is a knowledge to be taught by home, at home, by the parent to the children. Are you doing it? So it created a number of emotions in me, a lot of fondness for the society. And I thought, whatever is to be sacrificed should be sacrificed. This knowledge alone should be my life, my movement, and my goal. And for 67 or 68 years, I have been a moving university. I always say, I would like you to know, the streets of India alone welcomed me when I left Calcutta. And the invisible providence graced me. I was only living, pursuing this knowledge, propagating this knowledge, disseminating it. And this center also is a place of disseminating Brahma Vidya knowledge. The Delhi center also is there, Malaysia center. And we have in, as you know, CIRDNA North America, in Washington as well as in California, we have 2 centers. Now they are thinking of buying a place there. What do you think? And what are we trying to teach? The most ancient wisdom. Ancient wisdom in this calculation. The authors of the wisdom, the discoverers of the wisdom were ancient. But the wisdom is not ancient. It is ever new, ever relevant. So this intensifying your growth, that means what? You should. How many times shall I say this? You should. You should be exposed. And the right exposure comes to you from scriptural writings. And in the writings, there are altogether 3 items are there. It is called Prasthanatrayam. Say that. जोर से बोलिए. Prasthanatrayam.
Prasthanatrayam.
Traya means 3. The word prasthana has a special meaning. It is a voyage of knowledge. Voyage of knowledge. Whatever we do with our intelligence is a voyage. And it is to gain knowledge. Whatever be the knowledge. It may be arithmetics, it may be biology, zoology, electrical engineering, whatever may be the subject, humanities, whatever it may be. It's a voyage of knowledge. Now, 3 books are there. One is the Upanishads. Another is Bhagavad Gita. The third is called Brahma Sutras. These books together form Prasthanatrayam. The entire Hindu society is getting molded only after these by this. The whole religious literature, philosophical literature, spiritual literature, and yogic literature, all of them are subsidiary to the Prasthanatrayam. Some people say Hinduism, it's all tradition and faith, nothing else. Nonsense. These are documented. Upanishads are now documented. Earlier it was only spoken, never written. Bhagavad Gita was written. Brahma Sutras also were written. Brahma Sutras and Bhagavad Gita were written 5059 years ago. Upanishads were ageless, are ageless. These three put together become Prasthanatrayam. When I say you should be exposed to the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita and the Brahma Sutras. The sessions that we are going to have here, I will speak to you about Upanishads on the one hand and Bhagavad Gita also. What is the Upanishad? I would like you to know that. The Upanishads are the most ancient literature that was evolved in our holy land. I will tell you one line of the Rigveda. Rigveda is the oldest Veda. Ano bhadraha kratavo yantu vishwataha. Ano bhadraha kratavo yantu vishwataha. May noble thoughts from all over the world enter me. Have you ever heard such a prayer? Have you ever told your child, my dear child, you should go as a good person. Think, let goodness flow into me from all directions. Let greatness grip my intelligence. May I become noble. May I love the whole society. May love my expand to cover the entire world. I don't want to live only for my family. I want to live for the world as well. These are the noble thoughts, my dear souls. खाने पीने की बात नहीं, सिर्फ रहना नहीं, भले मन से रहना, भली बुद्धि से रहना, भले विचारों से रहना. भला विचार क्या है? आपके भीतर जो कुछ विचार है सब कुछ स्वार्थ है, परार्थता बिल्कुल नहीं है, बिल्कुल नहीं है. If you come to me, I don't want to speak publicly, if you come to me, we came here with a lot of interest and fondness. Even to take part in some of the social activities we do and other things. Many of you do not have an open and a hearty mind. I find people are lazy and indifferent. How can this be? How many days are we going to live here? For a few days, can you not find some time to find out what should be done? In what way can I help? This kind of a thought, why does it not occur to you? Because we are born in such homes. Homes, please write, home of selfishness. Achhi tarah likhiye. All people think in the family only in a selfish manner. Just like you have sarthada, you must also have pararthada. Boliye? Pararthanishta. Pararthanishta. You know, for this one word, the whole world should honor India. Pararthanishta. Pararthanishta. It should be considered as a religious nishtha, a discipline, a virtue, an ennoblement, a beauty, a decoration to our mind. Ano bhadraha kratavo yantu vishwataha. From all parts of the world, let noble thoughts enter my heart. Another, sangachadhvam, samvadadhvam. Ba. Sangachadhvam. Let us go together, march together. Samvadadhvam. एक ही समान हम लोग बात करें, हम विचार करें, हम आगे बढ़े, अकेला नहीं, सभी के साथ, सभी के साथ। हमारे देशवासियों की भलाई मेरे मन में मजबूत रहे, मजबूत रहे। वेयर इज द टाइम फॉर यू टू थिंक? आपका समय कहाँ है विचार करने के लिए? झगड़ा करने के लिए समय है, विचार करने के लिए नहीं। दूसरों के प्रति कभी बुराई सोचना मत। You may be thinking of badness of another man, but when you think it is your mind that thinks of badness, उसका फल क्या होगा बोलिए? बुराई दूसरे के प्रति हो, फिर भी जब आपका मन उस पर मनन करता है, वो बुराई किसकी होगी? अपनी तो होगी। ये समझती हैं? थोड़ा अलग कीजिए ना, मन को पवित्र बनाइए, भला बनाइए, पूर्ण चंद्र के समान वो प्रकाशवान हो। Every word of spirituality is to improve the quality of the mind, both in performance and also in generating peace and blessedness. When your mind becomes good and pure, it will start radiating contentment, radiating contentment. I have mentioned it earlier also. हम बोलते हैं खुशी खुशी, तृप्ति तृप्ति बोलते हैं, ये क्या है? What is this? Is it a physical quality or a mental quality? Contentment is emotional, joy is emotional. Being emotional, it belongs to the mind. It belongs to the mind. The body cannot generate it. These things cannot generate it. Contentment is a property, a quality of the mind. तब खुशी मिलने के लिए कहाँ देखना है? मन की ओर देखना है या दुनिया की ओर देखना? बोलिए ना खोल सके। मन पवित्र हो तब खुशी भी मिलेगी। अपने मन को पवित्र करने में क्या दिक्कत है हमें? जिंदगी को पवित्र बनाइए। बी गुड, सी गुड, डू गुड, हियर गुड, have good friends, have a clean home. It may not be very top type, but keep it clean, keep your dress clean, keep the mind also clean. Sangachadvam. Every time speak about unity and togetherness, never separation. I always say, we and the neighboring countries here, we must have only one currency. That is what I want. One currency. Why should we have many? Can we not think in a proper manner? What is the alternate to coexistence, you tell me? It is co-destruction. If you don't coexist, you will co-destroy. समझने के लिए बुद्धि हमारे पास नहीं है क्या? We are living in the earth, spoiling everything. You may correct me if I remember 360 kilometers square or mile square of space in Pacific Ocean is covered by plastics. 360 kilometers square area of Pacific Ocean, all the plastic that has fallen in the sea, they have accumulated there. Tell me, what are you going to do about it? To create plastic was easy for you, but to manage it as a waste, what arrangement have you done? When you create a product, you should also think about disposing it. What are we going to do with our garbage? हम अपने को बुद्धिमान समझते हैं, क्या बुद्धि है हमारे पास? The global warming is going up. Here is the answer. Sangachadvam, sambadadvam, samvo manam sijanatam. We should be considerate to each other. Try to understand the others. Some people sometimes when they say, Swamiji, please don't misunderstand me. I say, take away this word. We have come here to understand each other. Never use the word misunderstanding. Please don't misunderstand me. We are meeting together to misunderstand or understand. ये क्या बात है? See, you look at the sea. 3/4 of the earth's surface is sea. There also a parallel population is there. Human beings are not there. Is the sea destroyed? It is destroyed very close to the land. Several kilometers. I think the sea water is spoiled. And many beings of water beings also are destroyed. Otherwise the sea is safer. Where this wonderful man, this, what shall I say, notorious human intelligence, when that is there, everything is spoiled. There is no problem in the sea at all. So, sangachadvam sambadadvam. Now, this is the type of exposure I am telling you. Now, Bhagavad Gita is actually a restatement of the Upanishadic truths, but applied to our life. Don't think this Bhagavad Gita is actually Krishna's teaching. No, no, no. The Bhagavad Gita is an evolution in our cultural thought process. The evolution started long earlier. It started with Rigvedic Upanishad, Rigvedas. Krishna also had learned it. You know, Krishna did 12 years of austerity before he got the first child. He learned, he knew, and he applied it to the activity situation. The most challenging and painful activity is war, because you go to war only to kill, not for anything else. Every soldier goes there to kill his enemies, and they don't want to return alive without winning the war. Either they will win or they will fall dead. It's a very notorious act, very difficult, part of administration. It cannot be avoided. So in that war situation, he applied the Upanishadic teaching. But the teachings were not only for war. The teachings were used by our rishis, saints and sages. They were living in the forest, harming nobody at all. But it can also be applied in any given situation. Now all of you are active and interactive in this world. For all your activity and interactions, this knowledge can be applicable. And this applicability is what we find in Bhagavad Gita. In the forest, saints and sages, they took to lonely life, solitude, and they spent their time in meditation, contemplation, reading, writing, etc. But here Krishna uses it for fighting the war, for which Arjuna was not able to find sufficient clarity, confidence, boldness, stability and knowledge. So I will tell you how this Upanishad is first of all, and thereafter I will also tell you how the Bhagavad Gita begins and how it was an Upanishadic tuition that Arjuna was given by Krishna. It was nothing different. Absolutely it was an Upanishadic tuition. But the sages used to discuss the same knowledge, but in a different setting, in solitude, with the disciples who sought their feet, who had left everything and wanted to spend their time with the Guru. That was the Upanishadic setting. Here it was an active friend, interactive friend, a confrontation, so to say. He had to fight his own teacher, his own grandfather. Can anybody do it? He had to do it and he did it only because of the spiritual exposure and enlightenment. Now this is an exposure to all of you. You should think very well about what all I have said. What is the Upanishad? What is the relationship with Bhagavad Gita? We will continue to discuss it from tomorrow also. Samvedyavarjidamanuttamameghamadyam Samvitpadam Vigalanam Kalayan Mahatman Hridyeva Tishtha kalanarahita kriyantu kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri. Kurvan agartrapadamethya samodita shri. Hari, Hari, Hari Om Das. We shall have the concluding Omkara. Take your pose for it. Hari, Hari, Hari Om Tas. Jai Guru, Jai Guru.